Hey, good morning. My name is Ben Parsons, and I'm with Wjjq Property Pros. I sell real estate in the northern Wisconsin counties of Oneida, Vilas, Price, Lincoln, and Forest. So why don't you join me here in a little bit in the Wjjq studios.
20 minutes after 8 o'clock, Ben the Man for Land Parsons on with us now from Wjjq Property Pros this morning. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Jeff.
Ben, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, Jeff, this morning I'd like to talk about how to make how a seller can be a stellar seller.
A stellar seller. We're listening.
So a stellar seller is someone who is selling their home, and they have their keys labeled. There's a couple different ways to do this. You can put little pieces of tape on each, you kind of tag each key. You can lay out a sheet of paper with what each key is used for and an arrow pointing to each one. And then light switches. I know a lot of us have all kinds of light switches and panels in the house, and we like to see those temporarily labeled. You don't want to ruin the switch cover with a permanent marker, but one thing that I have found that works really good is we have these food container labels that are actually dishwasher dissolvable. And those are great to, just cut out right on them what the switch is for, cut it out, stick it over the switch, and that gives the new owner, it helps out with their learning curve. And they know what the switches go for. Maybe you have a dead switch and they want to run a wire to that and have it go to an exterior light or something. But labeling those switches and then having the garage doors in a spot that's easily found, usually on a kitchen counter or island. Then we'd like to see a file box, a temporary, or not temporary, but a plastic cheap file box that has things in it like information on the appliances, the warranties, any important papers regarding the house or the services, any particular contractor or handyman or service that the seller liked to use for certain things like furnace, water heater, water softener, things like that. And also details about like trash pickup, who picks up the trash, when, what time of day, where do they like the cans to be setting at. And of course, information on switching over the utilities. Now, we like to make sure that this is done on closing day, and we actually encourage our buyers and sellers to contact the utility company ahead of time and just give them a heads up. Flag the account that tell you there's going to be a transfer coming up. But if you don't do that on closing day, you want to make sure that you leave those instructions there for the new buyers as well. And the reason why we want to encourage a transfer is that if you shut those utilities off and the new owner has to come in and turn them all back on, there's usually a cost associated with that. And we'd like to try to save them money and have a smooth transaction. So the good news is, if you want to be a stellar seller, Ben the Man for Land and my awesome assistant, Ann, we have a form for this. We have a paper that we encourage our sellers to fill out with this information, and we actually include that with the documents when we sell a home for someone. So want to be a stellar seller? Hook up with Ben the Man for Land. And, Jeff, we do have a stellar seller that's on the Rhinelander chain of lakes at 1530 River Street. This home's on 4 acres with 525 feet of frontage on the Rhinelander chain. We have it listed as a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. It could easily be a 6-bedroom with a couple egress windows, 2-bath, and it could be a 2-kitchen as well if a person wanted to do that and explore 2 levels of living areas and a super deep garage. I mean, this thing, with all those amenities, with all those features, this thing is priced under $700 at $695. So look around at these other waterfront properties that are out there, and you'll see that this is one heck of a deal here on the Rhinelander Flowage at 1530 River Street.
Very good information today, Ben. Never would have thought of some of that stuff. We're still wondering what the big pile of keys left behind are for. We have light switches that don't seem to do anything. Boy, that was a really good little segment there, Ben.
Well, it's a lot of times we learn the hard way, and when we're representing buyers and, we get these calls from buyers after closing, what's this do, what's that do, we got a bunch of, we don't know what these keys go for. When I'm representing the buyer side, we really can't encourage or influence what the seller does, other than just asking ahead of time. Could you please, provide this information? But if they don't, they don't, and the buyers just have to figure it out. But that's why I like to say, hey, if you're selling with Ben the Man for Land, you're going to be a stellar seller.
Boy, that's good stuff today, Ben. Thank you very much. And if somebody wants to get a hold of you and be a stellar seller with you representing them, what's the best way to contact you?
My direct cell phone number is 715-550-5683. Call or text works, or they can email benthemanforland@gmail.com, and I'll get back with them as soon as I can.
Very good today, Ben. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.
You as well, and stay warm.
All right, yeah, will do. And you can contact Ben the Man for Land. I never would have thought of some of that stuff. Boy, those RE/MAX Property Pros are good here in the Tomahawk area.
Well, there you have it. Thanks again for tuning in. And if you are thinking about selling your property or your home and you want it featured on one of the local radio stations, be sure to give me a call. Again, I'm Ben the Man for Land, Ben Parsons with RE/MAX Property Pros, and I'd be glad to get you to sold today.